The message that I have for you today, brothers and sisters, is entitled, Our Story is Ante-Christian, not Anti-Christian. Our story, is Ante-Christian, not Anti-Christian. I was talking with someone earlier this week who's in the midst of making the transition to African consciousness from Euro-Gentile Christian thought. And this individual explained to me, I was thinking for a long time that you were anti-Christ in your teachings. And that's one of the things that enabled me to have somewhat of a problem with what you're saying, Pastor Ray. And he went on to say, I really think it would help a lot of people if you would explain what you really are as opposed to what people think you really are. And I said, thank you, because in 7 years of standing here, ministering every week, it never dawned on me to explain to you that our story is Ante-Christian, not Anti-Christian. My brother, Minister Eldridge, said, brother, I went and looked up what you're saying, and I don't understand where you're going with this one. That's a good thing. I hope by the time I'm finished, Doc, it'll make some sense to you, as well as everybody else. I think that it is important, it's absolutely imperative, that before going any further in this message, I give you some word definitions. You see, if you don't understand what I'm saying, it's not going to mean anything to you. Everybody knows what the word Christian means, but not everybody is familiar with the prefixes. Ante versus anti. So let me help you understand. Now write this down. The prefix ante, A-N-T-E. Not A-N-T-I, but A-N-T-E dash. Ante, A-N-T-E, means before. Or in front of. Or prior to. Or earlier than. Y'all got it already, don't you? For example, there's the word anterior. A-N-T-E-R-I-O-R. Anterior means the room before the interior. There's the phrase that most people who are familiar with theology are familiar with, and that phrase is antediluvian. Ante means before. The word diluvian means flood. So when you say the antediluvian period, you mean the period before the flood. There's another word, antecedent. Those of you who are familiar with language, antecedent means that which is before the noun or before the event. Likewise, Ante-Christian means that which precedes, or that which is prior to, or that which is before, or that which is in front of Christian. Christianity. Our story is an anti-Christian, not anti-Christian story. Got it, don't you? All right, what about anti? A-N-T-I. It is from the prefix which means against. In opposition to. So I repeat, we are not anti-Christian at the African village. We're not against Christ. We're not in opposition to Christ. And let me tell you why. Because first of all, the word Christ means those who are anointed. Those who have been chosen and empowered by God for the ministry of setting God's people free. So we can't be anti-Christ. Because if that was the case, you would have to be against me. You'd have to be against Farrakhan. Oh, you don't like what I'm saying now. You'd have to be against any liberator whose assignment is to be anointed for the work of God. Anti-aging cream. Cream that is against aging. Anti-apartheid means what? Against apartheid. You have some people who are anti-authoritarianists. What is an anti-authoritarianist? A person who is against authority. Anti-clotting. Anti-crime unit. Anti-diarrheal medication. You understand what yeah. Then you have some people who are anti-feminine. There's a weapon called anti-aircraft. Against aircraft. You've heard the phrase anti-slavery? Yes. Which means against or in opposition to slavery. And then you have anti-Christian. Now, having made clear what is meant by anti-Christian or antichrist and anti-Christian or anti-Christ, it is important, brothers and sisters, for us to understand that when it comes to being an ambassador, and I hope that every last one of you in here will be that. When I say an ambassador, I mean a representative, an envoy, a messenger. When it comes to being an ambassador for African spirituality and liberation, many times, I got to take my time and say this, because I want to be sure you catch it. Many times, the task of bringing the good news or the gospel about who and what we are